Okay, so here we are at level 4 springs. This is usually where most beginners or novice players get to the point where they're about 80,000, 90,000 points and they can't get past this level due to the springs up at the top of the level here trying to get to Pauline. Now we're going to go through this board step by step. I'm going to show you a beginner way to do it all the way up to an expert way to do it, and then we'll get to the top and I'll show you how to navigate these springs. Now at the beginning, you're probably going to want to go up here. If you're a beginner, get the umbrella, and you may even come back down here, wait for a elevator to come up, jump over, then jump over, and then maybe you even go down in this way. Now from an expert level, or at least a medium expert level, you're going to want to wait till this fireball goes down, jump over, and jump over right there. Now, if you're going to use the top beam and jump over, then here's a couple tricks for you. You're going to want to make sure that top elevator board is about to hit the yellow piece of the elevator shaft, and then you start your jump and jump over again. You're also going to want to wait till the fireball is probably at least below, let's say, this line right here, and start your jump then. If you wait too long and the fireball is closer to the top, you're going to jump right on top of it. So let's check out this method right now. You do have a bunch of frames of leeway there. You could see I got pretty close to the top, but still didn't hit my head on the girder. Sometimes on other locations of this board or even other boards, you don't get that much leeway in when you jump or hit your head on something. Mario will die if you hit your head on it. Okay, now we're going to start the board as if we're a professional or expert player. I'm going to show you a couple ways to get started on this board and get the most points and the quickest way over to that platform. Now, when you start this board, you're going to want to jump over quickly, watch that fireball, and as he came down, you're going to want to go back over and start again. Now, when you start and you jump over to the elevator, you have to be looking at the fireball right there. If he goes down, you can't jump over. If he's on the left side about to go down, you can't go over. You have to make sure he's over there on the right, and then you try and jump over to get the hat bonus prize. So let's try it right here, being quick, and see if we can see what that guy does. He stays up, go over, and then I can jump back over quickly and jump back over here, and then make my way over to the platform. Now, one trick people do is they get Mario below the fireball because they believe that brings him down. And now we're just going to jump over, and now we're here at the next point where there's a couple different paths that we can take to get over and up to Kong and Paulina. But the one thing I'm going to tell you not to do is don't go down all the way down to the bottom, up and over around. It's a waste of time. I'm going to show you a couple tricks here. One of them is easier than it looks, trust me, and the other one is a little bit more difficult. If you're a professional, this is what they do. I'll show you what they do. What we're going to do is we're going to skip over to this short platform over here after we jump on the elevator shaft going down, but the timing is critical on when you jump from the elevator shaft over to that platform. So we're going to do it right here, and I'm going to show you where you're going to start your jump. Right about there. Right about there is where you want the platform to be when you start your jump. And you'll have enough clearance where you don't hit the top of the platform right there. Because if you jump too early, you'll hit the platform. If you jump too late, you'll fall to the ground. Okay, now the pros take an even faster approach. It only saves a little bit of time, but I'm going to show you it anyway. I don't suggest this for a beginner. It's a little bit more difficult, but you can actually get to the larger girder at the top if you jump properly. Let's check it out. That's a quick method, but obviously a little bit more difficult. Well, now we're at the point we go up the ladder, we go get Pauline, and it's easy as pie. Well, not so much. Also, you see this purse in the corner over here that's drawing your attention. Don't even go get it if you're a beginner. This is for experts only, so much so as that I'm going to show you how the experts do it using Ray Finkel, one of the top Donkey Kong players in the world. And I'll show you how he does this in order to maximize points. He uses a method of what I like to call clipping or clip pressing, where the side of the objects, if you jump and time them perfectly, you're able to gain points off them. This way, as the clock goes down and you lose points, you're still gaining points by clip pressing and then going to get that purse over there in the corner. Now, we're not going to do that. We're just going to go up the ladder, and I'm going to show you how to get to the right spot on how to do the springs correctly. First, we're going to go up the ladder and over a little bit, and we're going to wait here because we're going to have to look at the springs as they come out and decide which one we want to start our process over to the yellow area in order to get in the position where we can go up the ladder. Now, what we're looking for here is we're going to look at where this spring comes out and lands. And what we're doing is we're looking for a spring that really comes out short or to the left. And when that spring comes out short or to the left, that's the one we're going to want to move on when it goes over our head. Now, I know a lot of the experts out there are saying, well, you don't have to wait till a specific short one. I'm not going to get into that. There's a whole bunch of dozens of different spring types that come out from angle, short, tall, where they land. I'm going to go over the easy way of how to get up this ladder, which is the way I learned, and I actually only learned on myself. I never really watched videos. I just figured out myself, this is the way I'm going to do it, and I think it's pretty easy when you do it this way. So let's take a look. So I'm looking for one of these to come out short. There's one. I'm going to run on it now. Okay, so you saw that the spring came out short, and I waited for it to get to me over my head. I could even run a little bit earlier because I knew it was going to land farther in front of me, and then I started to run over. Now, here's the spot where I like to be. Some professionals just navigate in between the ladder and the yellow area, but I like to wait right here, put my front foot or my back foot on the yellow and my front foot a little bit over it. You have a couple of frames of error. You don't have to be perfectly sitting on the yellow line exactly right. This is about where I like to be, and we'll watch as the springs just go over our head. Some come closer to us, some are bouncing really in front of us or really after us. And like I said, there's a ton of different springs that come out here. But again, what we're going to look at is we're going to focus on where the spring comes out and lands. Now, you can see that this spring that came out is a shorter spring that lands really early. I like to measure where they land off of the yellow part of the elevator channel, and kind of measure with my eyes where those springs are landing. And what we're going to look for is we're going to look for a spring that lands on the far right side, the right edge of the spring, over to the far right of the yellow. So that's the spring we're going to look for first. Again, I said there's many different types of springs. We're not going to worry whether the spring is tall or short. We're just going to worry about where it lands in conjunction with the yellow part of the elevator shaft. So let's take a look at a few springs. And I'll try and stop one where I see, not that one, not that one. We're still waiting. There was one. So you notice that one landed towards the right of the yellow part. We can keep looking here. Now we're looking for one to come out really far. There was one that just came out really far, and there was another one. So as you saw, just to give you an example, you had about two that came out really far, landed on the right part of the elevator shaft. Now, unfortunately, that's only the first step to figure out is which one to start your progression up the ladder. The sequential, or the next spring that comes out, is just as important as the one that we decide to go on. Let's just assume we go on the one coming out. Maybe you're a beginner and you just want to risk it and go. We're going to wait for a long one, and we're just going to go. There's one right there, and we go up and we make it. Now, that's not going to work 100% of the time. Unfortunately, if a long spring comes out and then another long spring comes out, you're going to get hit as you go up the ladder. So again, the spring that comes out next is very important to whether you're going to make it up the ladder or not. And what we're looking for on that spring, the sequential spring, is one to come out shorter than the long spring. Basically, you can get up the ladder if you have good timing on the long spring that comes up, starting your ascension up the ladder quickly, and then hopefully the next spring is a spring that comes out shorter or to the left, and you'll make it up the ladder. If two long springs come out sequentially, you have to go back down the ladder and over to your safe spot. Now let's take a look and see if we can get that long spring. There's one right there, come out, that one was short, and we go back up. Now, let's take a look if we get two long springs in a row. So right there was a prime example. I started to go make my ascension up the ladder, and I saw the next spring was just as long as the one I went on. It was the farthest spring that could come out. So I had to quickly go back down the ladder and get back to my safe spot. And we're going to start the process all over again. There's another one came out. There's a short one. Now, the last thing I want to say about this is you are going to have to look back at the area of the springs coming up while you're moving up the ladder, over and up to the ladder. It's just the way it has to be done. Unless you have the best peripheral vision ever, I still think you need to turn your head and turn your eyes and look back at the springs coming out and catch them coming out and where they land, which means that you're going to have to blindly know when to start going up the ladder without being able to look at it. And usually if you do it right, you're going to be a little bit way up the ladder once you notice that the next spring is too long and you have to go back. So if you repetitively do it, you will get it right. Also, use save states in main to practice is always a great way to do this board. Hey, good luck. I hope that gets you through this level and your high scores are on the rise. Thanks for watching The Rexer Show.